Hello, my name is Jesse Mecham with another episode of the Jesse Mecham Show, and I'm here each week to obsess out loud about you never worrying about money again. How do we do it? Well, there's a kind of popular approach that people take, and they call it a no-buy year. And what you do, there's a part of me that just loves these. You don't buy anything, you do, but you maybe ask yourself, or say to yourself, declare to yourself, you psych yourself out. You say, hey, if it's not essential, I'm not going to buy it. That would mean that I did not buy some resistance bands that I'm going to use to try and increase my range of motion. That's the most recent purchase I made, I believe. So yeah, no buy year would have meant Jesse does not have those resistance bands. What does that mean? Probably not a lot. Were they essential? No. So it checks that off. It's this way of like shocking the system. I'm going to have a no buy year. Fortunately, it's not how you live most of your life. So while I love a good shock to the system, I love a good sprint to just kind of see what we learn. It's a little bit like seeing how long you can hold your breath. Like, you know that the carbon dioxide's going to build up, and you're going to need to breathe again. But it is kind of entertaining to see if there are any like tips or tricks like moderate hyperventilation to convince your kids that that you can hold your breath for a terribly long amount of time. Now, the idea with this system shock is it's to save money. When people are saying I'm having a no buy year, the direct result of that is they will have more money at the end of that year because they only bought the essentials. And what I would encourage you to do is think about the money you have not as, I spent it bad, I saved it good. All money is meant to be spent. So the no buy year kind of acknowledges like, hey, we're just pausing on the entire purpose of this thing we call money. We're just going to push the little pause button on that and pretend that its purpose is to save it. It's just not. But you pretend that. And then once this season is over, this year is over, have you maintained a list of all the things you were going to buy, and you see what things on there you still want? That might be okay. I don't think you're going to go through every single item and buy it all. Otherwise, it is all for naught. But what's the end game for it? Like what would success look like? And if you're saying, Jesse, success would be that I have more money. Okay. What I think success looks like is that your money knows what it should do because you told it to. So you have that big pile of savings. To me, it's not a success until that savings has been given discrete jobs to do, like take me on a vacation, buy me that electric bike, buy me that old school manual bike so I can, bike against the grain, so to speak. Have that savings be named and given purpose, and you will find that suddenly it is far more meaningful. You've literally named it. You've had it mean something more. The no buy year, while interesting, won't build in you long-term habits of getting good with money, where when you spend it, you feel good and not bad. And when you talk about with your spouse, you guys feel good about it, not bad. And when you do, have some kind of an impulse purchase, you move money around in your plan and you figure out, okay, things are still fine. We aren't falling off a cliff here. And you feel good and not bad. And so we just want you to get good with money so that you're not worrying about it anymore. And not spending it is not how you get good at it. It's just kind of holding your breath for an uncomfortably long amount of time. And then when you do come up, do you want that oxygen? So consider popping open YNAB, ynab.com/Jesse, if you're wondering what that is. And it's an app that, you use it, you get good at money. And it's not about saving it. It's about spending it, but it's about spending it well and spending it aligned with what you really care about. And then you just never worry about money again. It doesn't mean you don't manage it, you don't work with it, you don't have things to do with it. But that pervasive worry that you carry around, whether or not you have some in your bank account or not, whether or not you did the no buy year and you have a lot of money or you don't, you're still going to have to answer the question, what do I want this money to do? It's actually our first question. And as you work the questions, you work the YNAB method, you'll get good at money. And you won't have to play these kind of temporary games. Now, if you're like, Jesse, it's fun, I like it, it's just a game. Okay, cool. Like we can play dominoes and you can play that game, we'll both be playing games. That's fine. But if you're looking for it to be this lasting thing, I would encourage you to make sure you also look to build habits that have you really get good at this thing called money. And it's about the spending. It's about spending in line with your values. And there are ways to think about your money, working through our 5 questions that have you answering those questions correctly. And then suddenly you're spending guilt-free. You're spending joyfully. You're loving how you spend, and you're never worrying about money again.